everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a comparison video and it will be between these two PERIPERA velvets here. So these are the Airy ink velvet and these are the cloud ink velvet, which is the new collection to the velvety family. So I thought I'll do a comparison with this one just because my previous one between the PERIPERA ink velvet versus the Airy velvet, it was actually really good. I think it was really informative for a lot of you guys, so I thought I'll do a second part to this because why not, right? So what I'll be doing is I'll categorize them by the texture, longevity, price, texture, did I say texture, scent, color ranges, so all of that, so it's informative and detailed for you guys. So let's get started. For the packaging, obviously the packaging looks completely different. The cloud velvet really reminds me a lot of the ink velvet, where you know the packaging is supposed to show you how the inside would look like, and I think the whole concept for the Airy velvet, it was supposed to be the same as well, but because I feel like they try to make it look really cool and translucent looking, it doesn't really look like the true color that is supposed to be inside, if that makes sense. If I were to show you three of the Airy velvet, you probably can't tell what the differences are. Look at that. Just because it either looked really reddish or really pinkish, but you don't really know what's inside unless you open it up or look at the bottom to see the color shades. The one, they're actually completely different. So for the cloud, as you can see, it is much more flatter. There's no pointy side to it. And for this is the Airy, you can see that it's tilted to one side and it's pointy. So basically, apparently the cloud, you're supposed to use the top to apply, but I feel like it's very uncomfortable to do that, and it's not really, I don't see any logic to it, so I just apply it normally. But obviously I use the tip to apply on the outer part of my lips to make my lips look much more sharper. But I'm not really fast by the one. I mean, even though they look different, they still apply quite good on the lips anyway. But I just thought I really want to show it to you guys because they're obviously completely different to each other. I feel like the Airy ink velvet 1 to 5 smells completely different to Airy ink velvet 6 to 10, so I'll explain that really soon. But what I'll do now is I'm going to tell you what ingredients contain in these two, both cloud velvet and Airy ink velvet, because I feel like it's pretty important to know what's contained in there. So I'm just gonna look at my phone now because I don't remember the ingredients off the top of my head. But for the Airy ink velvet, it contains 3 different types of oil, so camellia oil, cottonseed oil, and mango seed oil. Hence why it feels so moisturizing and feels really soft on your lips, especially when you have dry lips. Now for the cloud velvet, it contains shea butter, sweet almond oil, and lotus extract. So obviously less oil, but it's still really soft as well. We'll talk about texture really soon. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to smell it now. So for 1 to 5, it smells like soapy smell. Yeah, it smells like when you go into your shower and use a body wash, it smells like that. And 6 to 10 for the Airy ink velvet, I really like the smell. It reminds me a lot of the sweet pea candle scent. I don't know if you guys have it overseas, but here it's pretty popular, so it smells like sweet pea. Like more like a flowery smell, flower smell. And the cloud velvet, this one, it reminds me, it's so weird, but it reminds me, it's like a combination of shea butter, but sort of like mixed with salted caramel smell and combined together, and wham, it smells like that. So if I would have to choose which scent I like, probably the cloud velvet and probably the 6 to 10 Airy ink velvet. But for those who don't like scent, don't worry, because after you set it, like after it's set on your lips, the scent just completely disappear. But obviously during the application, when you apply, you can smell the scent. It's not that strong, but obviously you can smell it quite a bit. But I mean, it's actually not that big of a deal for me. Like, I do like the scent, so it's actually not bothersome and it doesn't smell that bad, so it's okay. For the Airy velvet, I feel like the color is there, but at the same time it is very beautiful. But for the cloud velvet, because of how pigmented and vivid the color is, it doesn't feel that soft on your lips. I mean, it glides on easily on your lips and feels very lightweight. But if I were to say which one is lighter, it would definitely be the Airy velvet. But if you're looking for something that you don't want to like build on or like apply lots of layers, the cloud velvet will be good, and it's pretty soft. I mean, both of them, they're supposed to give you like a semi-matte finish, but which one will be much more matte will probably be the cloud velvet. So I feel like the cloud velvet, the texture is a bit lighter than the original ink velvet, but if I would have to say which one is lighter, it would definitely be the Airy velvet. So Airy velvet is just feels really soft and transparent on your lips. Yeah, so in regards of which one is really comfortable to wear if you have dry lips, definitely both feels really comfortable. It doesn't feel dry on your lips, so I guess it depends what you want. If you want something that you can build on but don't want to feel like it's gonna be thick on your lips, I guess it will be the Airy. But for the cloud velvet, if you want like a 1 layer or 2 layer, that would be good as well, but I wouldn't really build it up that much because the color is already so opaque. So I hope that makes sense. I mean, a lot of you guys did ask about the texture, so this is the best I can describe. Like, it's really hard to think about the differences just because like both feels really soft, but Airy velvet is still much more softer. Yeah. So I feel like the longevity, I would have to say that both last a pretty good amount of time, but the cloud velvet would probably last longer than the Airy velvet. I know it's really different from what I said to my original comparison video. In my original comparison video, I did say that the Airy velvet lasted longer than the ink velvet, but after receiving the shade 6 to 10 for the Airy velvet, I felt like the longevity for those is a little bit of a hit and miss compared to the 1 to 5. So on average for the Airy ink velvet, it would last about 5 hours before you have to touch up. For the cloud velvet, after 5 hours, it still looks amazing and beautiful on the lips. You don't need to worry about touching up, only just a little bit of the inside after you're eating, but it doesn't really transfer as much or smudge or just disappear. So definitely give credit to the cloud velvet, it lasts longer, probably because it's probably like not as softer looking to the Airy. You know how the Airy, it gives you a very light looking lips. That's probably why, I guess. And from reading the ingredients, you can definitely tell that because the Airy contains so much different oil in it, obviously I'm not surprised it doesn't last as long. But I was very surprised to see how different the longevity was between the 1 to 5 and the 6 to 10. So on average, I would say it just lasts 4 to 5 hours, but cloud velvet, the consistency for the longevity is pretty good. I've been trying it for a while now, so I would have to say average it lasts about 5 hours. So for the transfer, I felt like if you apply the velvet on and you let it set for about 7 minutes, the cloud velvet gives less transfer compared to the Airy velvet. But if you don't set it in that 7 minutes and you do something, then the cloud velvet transfer more than the Airy velvet. But throughout the day, the Airy velvet gives more transfer than the cloud velvet. I hope that makes sense. I'll remove my current lip color now, and I'll apply probably the Airy first and then the cloud velvet to show you the differences. So this is the Airy velvet. So this is how the Airy look like after 7 minutes. This one is the cloud. Ta-da! This one here is the cloud and this is the Airy, but trust me, the cloud actually lasts longer than Airy and it gives less transfer than the Airy throughout the day. So for the colors, I've swatched them on my arms. So weird angles coming, but this is how all the colors look like on my arms. So obviously the top one, the cloud velvet, only comes out with 5 colors so far, and the Airy velvet, it has already come out 10 different shades. So from what you can see is that obviously there are more selection for the Airy velvet, but that's only because, you know, like they've been out for quite a bit, so obviously they added 5 more. And I feel like eventually cloud velvet, they will probably add 5 more colors eventually. But at the moment you can tell that the Airy velvet have a lot of variety colors. I like that for 1 to 5 they have, obviously these are not in order, but for 1 to 5 it leads more towards the spring summery colors where it's, you know, pinky, orangey, reddish. But for the 6 to 10 it's more of a darker mauvey brownie shade, so it's perfect for the fall and winter look. But there's something missing in here, and I feel like what is missing is like probably like a dark reddish shade or like a purpley shade. That would be awesome. So like for the cloud velvet, if you guys watch my previous video where I did the complete full swatches and review for the cloud velvet, you could tell that a lot of the colors wasn't true to like what the model looks like. So for the number 5, I think it was this one, I expected it to be more of a dark reddish burgundy shade, but obviously it just looked like a reddish shade to me. So at the moment, color wise, I prefer the Airy over the cloud, just because I feel like the cloud colors, they are so similar to the original ink velvet anyway, so it's not like we're missing out on anything for the shades. But I mean, all the colors are pretty and you can see how opaque they are, and from here you can tell which one dries up faster and which one takes a bit longer. So obviously Airy, because there's so much, you know, moisture in it, it takes a while to set compared to the cloud. So overall, I actually do like all of the colors a lot. Staining wise, obviously the cloud stain a bit more compared to the Airy velvet. So I felt like the cloud, because of like probably the pink one, gives more staining than the other colors. But the Airy, probably because of the oil, it doesn't really stain your lips much. So if you don't want any staining on your lips, probably go for the Airy. Hope you guys enjoyed my comparison. I hope that it was really informative and detailed for you guys. If I miss out anything, feel free to ask me down in the comment box below and I'll reply to you as soon as possible. In regards of the price, they're actually identical to each other. I think on Josie it was like $7.48, maybe iBuy Beauty was like $6.50, but don't worry, I'll put all the links down below so you guys can check out and compare the prices yourself. And I mean, both I really do like them. I mean, they are positive and negative for both of them, I guess, but both feels really good on the lips. Especially if you have dry lips, I would definitely recommend trying both depending on your preference. And I mean, this kind of video is just based on my opinion, just remember that, because I know a few people on my last video like, oh, this is not supposed to be like that, that's not supposed to be like that. But it's like, it is my lips, I know how my lips is like, and I mean, it is based on my own opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see any more comparison video with other lip products, definitely let me know down below. And I'm thinking of doing like a one look using the PERIPERA velvet as well, like an eyeshadow lip and a cheek look. I've seen it around, so I thought I'll try that out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope it's not long or draggy. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.